Smoothly summoned by his superiors, Astaroth the Ice Queen and Belial the Great Flame, the combat agent 6 is tasked with venturing into a different realm. 6 finds herself unable to grasp anything, prompting her to question various aspects, including the mission, her superiors, and even her choice of attire. Astaroth elaborates on Kisaragi's nearly global conquest, emphasizing that when they've exhausted all battles and conquests, individuals like 6 will be recruited. 6 became upset and attempted to persuade Astaroth to take responsibility by marrying her, but ended up being frozen by her as a consequence. During the facility meeting, the distinguished chief scientist, Lilith the Dark, introduced the teleporter intended to transfer 6 to the alternate world, accompanied by Alice, a sophisticated and costly android designed to assist him. Following the distribution of mini teleporters for equipment retrieval, there was a heartfelt farewell shared between 6 and Astaroth. However, their departure turned awkward when 6 attempted an inappropriate gesture, resulting in him being swiftly pushed onto the teleporter. As 6 reluctantly stepped onto the device, he realized there was a possibility of it malfunctioning and endangering his life. Alice and 6 find themselves mysteriously transported to the vast sky, far away from any familiar surroundings. Upon reaching the ground, Alice uncovers that 6 possesses minimal evil points, indicating scarce resources. 6 then receives nanobots to enhance his immune system. They are ambushed by Hegs, compelling 6 to battle solo, as Alice's combat abilities are akin to those of a young child. The victory was secured when 6 handed her a shotgun. Smoothly, they encountered a band of knights from a neighboring realm. As their minds processed the discussion, the leader, named Snow, and serving as the Royal Guard captain, came forward. Upon learning the fabricated tale about 6's mental state, she decided to introduce them to the princess. Recognizing their skills as warriors and seeing the opportunity to showcase the city and the mystical elements it held. In the splendid palace, they are introduced to Princess Tillis, who humbly seeks their assistance in defending their realm from the threatening demon lord, who is close to triumphing in their ongoing conflict for control over the lands. As 6 and Snow engage in a heated discussion in the corridor regarding Snow's selfish intentions, they stumble upon a damaged artifact. Alice takes the initiative to repair it, recognizing its technological significance. Nevertheless, when asked to create a password, 6 chooses Dick Festival in hopes of eliciting a lighthearted response from the princess. However, the princess overheard the exchange and promptly apprehended them. The king passes judgment on 6 and Alice, but Tillis intervenes and grants them forgiveness, considering their service as knights to the kingdom. Snow initially protests, but later realizes that she took responsibility for their actions. As a result, she is placed in the same unit as them, but in a subordinate position. In the conclusion, Snow admits to not having full trust in them and mentions keeping an eye on them, only to be gently teased by 6 and scolded by Alice. During a flashback scene, it is disclosed that 6 was selected for this mission through a dice roll, causing concern for Astaroth and highlighting her feelings for him. 6 and Alice have started choosing the remaining team members with Snow, who are all women and elderly. 6 desires an older gentleman with a stylish nickname, whereas Alice requests Snow's help in being introduced to the 2 contenders with a higher prowess in combat. The initial one, putting on an exaggerated presentation, happens to be the Chimera Rose, who felt a bit embarrassed when 6 responded similarly. She eloquently describes her capabilities and her innate drive to enhance her own strength, and becomes intrigued by the snacks that 6 had in his pocket. Next in line is Grim, aiming to deliver a mysterious and alluring performance. However, the moment is disrupted when 6 rudely refers to her as an evil god and proceeds to lift her skirt to catch a glimpse of her undergarments. This happens while she is offering a show in exchange for forgiveness. As a consequence, Grim ends up demanding that 6 marries her. Following a conversation regarding hierarchy between 6 and Snow, things escalated when 6 made a bold move by touching her melons, leading to Snow chasing after him with a sword in hand. Tillis intervened calmly, urging 6 to treat Snow with respect as she had worked hard to earn her knighthood, and offered them accommodation at the barracks. 6 and Alice find themselves sharing the same room. Alice kindly informs 6 that he shouldn't try to make any advances towards her, as she does not have the necessary equipment for such interactions, even though 6 has no interest in doing so. 6 suggests initiating a major operation to obtain a new hideout as a reward, yet Alice advises him against underestimating the challenges in that realm. The next day, the newly established unit embarks on their inaugural mission to eliminate the enemy's supply lines. Snow expresses reservations due to her preference for lucrative assignments, while Rose is keen on confronting more challenging foes. Despite their initial differences, they ultimately reach a consensus, swiftly dispatching the low-level monsters guarding the supplies and successfully completing their task. A more formidable demon, distinguished by her attire indicating high rank, appears as Hyena of the Flame, while Six captures her image and introduces herself as one of the 4 esteemed members of the demon army. She attempts to allure him into joining their ranks by offering a harem, a proposal promptly declined thanks to Alice's intervention. Six and Hyena engage in a confrontation as the superiors come up with various reasons to avoid assisting him. Yet Alice steps in to remove Hyena's griffin. In the midst of the conflict, a distinguished member of the demon army, known as Recap-kun of the Earth, emerges and eliminates Grimm, who had been dormant until that moment. Recap-kun then engages in battle with the remaining unit until both Hyena and Recap-kun are summoned back by a superior officer. Amidst the solemn preparations for Grimm's funeral directed by Six, a surprising revelation surfaces from Snow. Grimm is actually immortal. With this newfound knowledge, they make their way to Zenareth's temple under the Veil of Night to carry out the ritual that will revive her from the clutches of death. As Six waits patiently for Grimm to return, she is surprised when he reappears, convinced that she will accompany him due to her unfortunate demise. However, she soon realizes that Grimm simply wanted her company and ends up asking him out on a date. With a Kisaragi wheelchair in tow, Six and Grimm dash through the streets, inadvertently disrupting the romantic outings of other couples. Their antics catch the attention of a police officer, who, upon scolding them, discloses her boyfriend's existence. Grimm, taken aback, attempts to cast a curse, unveiling both the effectiveness of her curses and the underlying cause of her wheelchair-bound state. Regrettably, the curse misfires, rebounding and incapacitating Grimm, who collapses unconscious onto the pavement. The primary authority of Grace Kingdom has come to know that the demon army has withdrawn. At that moment, Six emerges, admitting to being the one behind the destruction of their supplies, creating conflict with the army strategist due to his disrespectful behavior. Tillis expresses gratitude, as the king notes that all they can do now is patiently await the arrival of the Chosen One. Upon hearing the legend, Six became convinced that he was the Chosen One due to a mark on his hand resembling that of the prophesied one. However, Tillis disclosed that it was actually a scar from a poisonous insect bite, which he survived thanks to his nanobots. It was revealed that the prince was the true Chosen One. Outside the castle, 6 individuals discover Rose attempting to escape from Alice, who insists that she consume a grasshopper against her wishes in order to become stronger. 6 assists Alice by offering her something delicious in exchange for consuming the grasshopper, silicone for enhancing her breast size. Rose becomes upset, and as she discusses her creator's accuracy regarding human nature, they inquire about Rose's own origins. Upon disclosing her limited recollection of events prior to being found in ancient ruins and the demise of her creator during an experiment, along with unraveling the mystery surrounding the ruins, Six and Alice opt to appoint Rose as a Kisaragi apprentice agent. Despite her reluctance and distrust, Rose hesitantly agrees to their proposition. Smoothly, as Grimm daydreams about marriage, Six converses with Alice in their shared room, mentioning the absence of any exhilarating encounters, prompting an annoyed Alice to playfully feign excitement by placing Six's hand on her chest. This gesture does not amuse Six, and tensions rise until Snow arrives with news of a new mission. It has come to light that the Chosen One faced defeat at the Duster Tower at the hands of 2 demons, Gil of Strength and Rista of Knowledge. The tower possesses an essential item required for vanquishing the Demon Lord. During the discussion of strategies, Six suggests burning the tower, yet eventually, the group reaches a consensus on executing a frontal attack. As the army begins its assault on the tower, Six and his unit take it easy until nightfall. Snow, on the other hand, engages in the fruitless battle and returns defeated and weary. Once Snow rouses Grimm from her peculiar dreams, Six and Alice get ready to ascend the tower outside with stakes. Everyone is doing fine. However, Snow is feeling exhausted and unable to climb. She is being carried on Six's back with her chest against him, bringing happiness to Six, but causing frustration to Snow. At the tower's peak, Six and Snow stealthily make their way as Gil and Rista proudly strut, catching Rista off guard with a kick that nearly sends him tumbling into the tower. As Rista reaches out for the handrail, Six cleverly takes him hostage to prevent Gil from launching an attack. He then proceeds to throw rocks at Gil, all while coordinating with his skeptical unit. Upon Rista's return with reinforcements, Six seizes the opportunity by holding the weakened Gil hostage. This compels them to vacate the tower in order to ensure Gil's survival. In the dead of night, Snow quietly appears in Six and Alice's room to reward them for a job well done. 6 people are seriously contemplating leaving Kisaragi because the compensation offered is significantly higher than what the company provides. Despite Alice criticizing them, she also acknowledges the allure of the higher payout. The general summons Six and Snow to commend them for successfully retrieving a treasure in Duster Tower, a crucial aid in the Chosen One's journey to confront the Demon Lord. The general also assigns them the task of defeating Heine of the Flame, one of the elite members of the demon army. Snow is keen on accepting the rewards, whereas Six is hesitant due to it being the army strategist's suggestion. During the intense battlefield situation, Alice realizes that the mission seems almost impossible to survive, suspecting the strategist's intentions to endanger their lives. To divert attention, Alice suggests they pretend to fight Heine, while Snow and Rose unknowingly encounter Grimm. Six informed his unit that there is no obligation to engage in combat, expressing dissatisfaction towards the strategist responsible for assigning the mission due to perceived hypocrisy. Subsequently, Heine's army appeared, accompanied by a golem. While the armies clash in fierce combat, Snow bravely engages Heine with her newly acquired sword. Rose pursues the griffin. Alice endeavors to rouse Grimm, and Six finds himself compelled to confront the golem solo. As Alice requests explosives, Six attempts to harm the golem, but unfortunately fails, quickly getting overpowered by it. Since the explosives are taking their time, Six chooses to push his limits, despite Alice's objections that he won't be able to move for 3 minutes. Nonetheless, he goes ahead and throws the golem away while Alice detonates it, consequently waking up Grimm. Six requests Rose and Grimm to safeguard him, and though they request sustenance and drinks as compensation, Heine appears just in time to shatter Snow's newly forged blade. As Six attempts to stall with a provocative question, shielded by Rose, and Snow returns in tears over her missing sword, Heine makes a swift strike at Six, unable to move, only to be immobilized by Grimm. Once able to get back on his feet, Six sets out to confront Heine. However, he finds himself enticed by her tempting offer of a grand harem of monsters. Just as this unfolds, Snow intervenes and successfully acquires her magicite, a precious gem that enhances her abilities. To reclaim what was taken, Heine agrees to pose for Six's inappropriate photos, fulfilling Snow's desire for vengeance. However, upon discovering that he had no intention of returning the item and had concealed the magicite in his undergarments, she withdraws with her army, weeping and vowing to seek retribution against Six. In the evening, at the bar, all gather to celebrate the victory. Six playfully teases Snow in a light-hearted manner, pointing out how he acts like a tsundere by showering him with compliments as a commander, yet playfully denying him this title in jest. After escorting a drunken Six back to his room, Snow begins venting to herself about Six. Her words catch the attention of the strategist, who also expresses frustration about him, and then offers Snow a bribe by suggesting she can return to her former position as the Royal Guard Captain and receive money to gather evidence that Six is a spy, even if that turns out to be false. Initially, she agrees to take the money, but later on, Snow begins to feel remorse, overhearing a conversation between Six and Alice discussing their roles as spies. As a disheartened Snow cautiously opens their door and bravely confronts them for their suspected role as spies. Six attempts to divert the topic, yet Alice insists that it is futile. Out of gratitude for all they have done for the kingdom, Snow decided to expel them without asking any questions. Subsequently, Snow, resuming her role as the Royal Guard Captain after Six's departure, contemplates her own desires and the circumstances that led to her reinstatement. She is then summoned by Rose and Grimm, who share news about the demon army. Snow realizes with regret that she never heard Six's perspective on the matter. Meanwhile, Six and Alice have secured a house to use as their hideout. Following a mild disagreement about the rooms, Alice informs Six that with the spy mission completed, it is now appropriate to begin constructing the teleporter. Upon noticing Six's concern for his former subordinates, Alice gently inquires if something is troubling him, but Six opts to keep it to himself. Alice suggests that the demon army could attack if they are absent, and Six believes that Snow acted appropriately until Alice recalls that Snow may have saved them from being executed. Alice expresses her unwillingness to see the place they are about to conquer being ruined by others. She encourages him to follow his desires, as it will be a month before the portal is operational. During the night, Six began to harass women by unzipping his pants, seeking evil points. However, he encountered a woman who desired more than his usual actions. This interaction was promptly interrupted by Snow and Rose, who reprimanded him. Rose questioned his sudden departure, to which he explained was due to Snow's persistent harassment. Six expressed a desire to become stronger to fend off the impending invasion by the Demon Lord. This admission angered Snow, who rejected his offer of help. The next day, as Six strolled along the streets, he found out that he had gained fame as the Zipperman and encountered some bothersome children. Upon returning home, Alice jokingly pokes fun at Zipperman, but advises him to strategically allocate all his evil points, except for 200, on planting mines along the route that the demon army will take during their invasion, ensuring that one of them is specifically tailored to target Hyena. Upon their return to the city, Six and Alice were dismayed to find that the Chosen One, along with the 4 heavenly kings, were nowhere to be found following their teleportation. Upon carefully examining the intricacies and contemplating the typical elements of the isekai genre, Six and Alice come to the realization that they were responsible for unjustly claiming victory at Duster Tower. After carefully considering their choices, they made the decision to escape. As Six and Alice pack up to depart, they receive a visit from Princess Tillis. After subtly verifying their true identity as spies through a series of questions and veiled threats, she implores them to share the knowledge of their kingdom and the looming threat posed by the Demon Lord with others, emphasizing the urgency of the situation. Upon Tillis's request, they are greeted by Rose and Grimm, accompanied by Snow, back at the castle. Following his confirmation, Six disclosed that he had departed due to Snow's sexual misconduct. Six advised them to do likewise, as they will be deployed to the front lines. Snow informed him that they were prepared to sacrifice themselves, but when Rose and Grimm hesitated, Snow became upset and started to argue and fight with Six. Rose observed that they always engage in such behavior because they have feelings for each other. On the day of the invasion, the army gets ready for battle, as Six and Alice casually discuss unicorns in the princess's room, while Tillis looks concerned. In the meantime, the demon army, guided by Hyena of the Flame and Gadalkand of the Earth, draws near. However, they encounter the mines cleverly set by Six and Alice, causing a delay in Hyena's advance as she discovers one particularly tailored to her, along with her lost magicite. While chatting, Tillis kindly offers to demonstrate her magical abilities to Six and Alice, mentioning that she can only do it once a day. However, her attention is diverted when Six receives evil points for the mines, suspecting it to be a trap set by the children who mockingly referred to him as Zipperman. The demon army, led by the furious Hein, arrived later than anticipated towards the end. Upon the demon army's approach towards the castle, Snow inquires Grimm about handling their golems, showcasing her ability acquired through the collection of various couples' rings. Smoothly phrased, the army, commanded by the vengeful Hyena, reaches the castle. Despite Grimm managing to halt the golems, she falls short of placing a curse on Hyena, becoming frustrated by Hyena and her appealing figure. As Rose shielded Grimm from Hyena, Gadalkand made an unexpected appearance. Despite not perceiving Snow as a threat, he found himself under attack by Rose, who refused to forsake her friends, defying the instructions of her creator. Despite Snow's willingness to keep fighting, she heeds Grimm's advice on the consequences of the battle and decides to retreat towards the castle, leaving Grimm and Rose to deal with Hyena and Gadalkand. At the castle, Six and Alice are attempting to flee with Tillis, who is reluctant, in an effort to safeguard the lineage of the monarchy. Upon reaching the doors, Snow suddenly emerges and humbly requests Six's assistance, noting concerns about Grimm and Rose's well-being. Snow deeply regrets her past actions and offers an apology, yet Six firmly declines her help. Alice steps in, advising Six to disregard Snow's pleas and placing the blame on Snow for their expulsion. Snow, feeling inadequate and ignored by the demons, sets her pride aside and tearfully pleads for Six's assistance. Despite Alice's objections and disapproval, Six eventually agrees to help. Six requests the anti-material rifle, but due to a shortage of evil points resulting from Six squandering them on adult content, Alice advises him to strike the king instead. Tillis and Snow prevent him from proceeding, and Snow herself volunteers to fulfill Six's desires in order to acquire evil points. Initially, Six attempted to kiss her, but upon noticing her hesitation, he paused, expressing that things were progressing too swiftly. Eventually, he ended up removing her panties in front of others, causing her great embarrassment. Grimm and Rose were nearly defeated when the golem began to crumble under the relentless assaults of Six and Alice. However, upon recognizing that the attacks originated from the castle, Hyena, Gadalkand, and their winged army swiftly flew to the scene. Following a confrontation with Gadalkand, Six and a rejuvenated Snow engage in battle with the demons, as Alice asks for the R Buzzsaw to assist Six. During the battle, a demon seizes Six's rifle, but just then the buzzsaw emerges, allowing Six to swiftly cut both adversaries in half. Next, Six skillfully wields the buzzsaw, amplifying his power by unleashing his full potential. With confidence, he executes his special attack, effortlessly cutting through all adversaries except for Hyena. Six then kindly approaches Hyena and suggests a 1-month truce, which she accepts before leaving with her army. Since Six is unable to move, Tillis and Alice decide to withdraw. This is because Snow plans to offer Six his reward, but she manipulates him by using Gadalkan's head to make him forget about it. Six was expressing his feelings about feeling used by women when Snow decided to kiss him and share her desire to learn everything about him. Nevertheless, Six discloses that he does not genuinely have feelings for her and that his intention was merely a one-night encounter. His sexist comment sparked her anger, leaving her feeling betrayed after confessing for naught. In a fit of rage, she attempts to harm Six, but he regains his composure just in time to evade her wrath. In the conclusion, Tillis expresses gratitude for the assistance and inquires if the individual would like to remain. However, the offer is declined. He attributes this to the troublesome nature of his subordinates, much to the frustration of Rose and Grimm. Snow asks if he is truly departing. Six claims to be part of a nefarious organization as a reason for shunning Snow, but Snow chooses not to inquire about his past or identity, instead offering him a job as a mercenary. He agrees. After Six got back at the strategist by playfully shaving his head bald, Alice discloses that Six has accumulated further negative evil points, indicating he will face consequences before he can head home. Alice kindly offers an excuse, and Six graciously thanks her partner, which surprises Alice. The episode begins with Six and Astaroth having a dispute because the likelihood of teleportation success was actually quite low, and Six might have died, questioning why Six doesn't return to Earth. Six also desires additional soldiers to accompany him, but due to Kisaragi's critical phase in global domination, they lack available manpower. Ultimately, an enraged Six seeks revenge on Astaroth by demonstrating the reason behind his nickname, Zipperman. Subsequently, Six practices sword fighting with his friend, Tigerman, a mutant sent by Kisaragi, using Snow's flame zapper, which he ends up breaking. They both consult Alice for advice on what to do, but immediately after she suggests gluing it, Snow arrives in pursuit of her beloved sword. Six concocts a ludicrous excuse for the sword's misplacement, but Snow discovers its fragments concealed on the backs of Six and Tigerman. In the end, Tigerman offers his katana to a devastated Snow, and as she embraces him, Six acknowledges him due to his fame, but Tigerman shows no interest in taller women. At this point, the kingdom faces an assault, and Six and Snow engage in battle while Tigerman safeguards the castle. Following the attack, Six, Snow, Alice, Grimm, and Rose visit the bar to celebrate, while Six navigates his popularity with women as well as his reputation as Zipperman. Snow discloses that she is watching over them upon Tillis's request. And as Alice elaborates on her relationship with Six and the local cuisine, which dampens Six's appetite since he was consuming an intelligent creature, she asks Snow for a paid favor to guide them through the Darkwood to examine the local flora. During the excursion, they encounter a creature known as Mokomok battling a massive snake. Upon learning about the Headslitters tribe and being attacked by them, Six flees alone, befriending Mokomok, only for Snow to slay it in front of him. While everyone except Six dines on Mokomok at the bar, Rose reveals that, during a celebration for Xenarith, Grimm summoned an undead creature, and Alice, as a science disciple, refuses to accept this as reality, providing scientific reasoning for magic, and labeling Grimm a fraud and a non-human. An infuriated Grimm resolves to demonstrate to Alice that her powers and Xenarith are genuine, and Alice agrees to the challenge. The following evening, Grimm takes Alice and Six, as a witness, outside the city to call forth a ghost for them. After deliberating on sacrificing a rabbit for the ritual, they opt to use a piece of meat. However, Grimm inadvertently conjures a formidable devil instead of a ghost, and despite Grimm's cautions, Six almost bargains his soul in exchange for a harem. However, a still doubtful Alice interferes, grasping the altar, and after the demon fails to halt her heart, since she is an android, she grants Alice a wish, but she asks for impossible requests. 2 or 3 new planets similar to Earth, or the extermination of the demon army and the creatures like Mokomok. After the demon refuses to fulfill those wishes, Alice requests her to unclog her toilet, and the exhausted demon exchanges places with a more formidable one, but Alice sends him back. In the end, Alice remains skeptical about magic. In the castle, Tillis finds out that her kingdom will run out of water soon, and decides to do something she doesn't wish to. Back at Six and Alice's home, she shares her findings while Six laments missing his harem opportunity, whereas Tiger Man states he would like to be a little girl and will request Lilith to transform him into one when he retires. Alice tells him to cease with the meows, but she does it too.